Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Fit 15 podcast show. I am your host, Catherine Basu, and today I'm going to talk to you about your health, what the 3 main components of health are, and also dive into a little bit more on your physical health and talk about the 3 main components of a solid fitness routine. Before I do that, I wanted to just briefly mention that this episode is actually not the first episode of the Fit 15. I also created an introductory episode 000, so be sure to check that out if you are new to the show and missed that episode. Today's episode is the first episode, but it's more of a bonus episode of the Fit 15. It's not going to be like a typical episode where I'll be joined by an awesome guest, but I wanted to cover this topic, diving into and defining health and the 3 main components of fitness, because that is what we'll be talking about here on the Fit 15, sharing health and fitness related information, motivation, and inspiration. And so thought it was important for you to know what I mean by talking about your health and fitness. And also my goal for this episode is to have you think about all the areas of health and all the areas of physical fitness so that you can kind of assess yourself and see what areas are currently your strengths and what areas are currently your weaknesses so that you can work on those and become healthier overall and lead a more happy, fuller life as you address those areas. Okay, so the model I'm going to use to talk to you about your health is a 3-pronged version of describing your overall health. So there's 3 main components of your overall health that I'll discuss. The reason I'm using this approach is that I really like the analogies that are used to describe your health in this way. So we talk about your health being a health triangle or a health stool. There's 3 legs of your health stool, 3 sides of the health triangle. And what's important when you think about that analogy is that each side of the triangle needs to be there for there to be a full triangle, and each leg of that 3-legged stool needs to exist in order for the stool to stay standing. The same is true for your health. So let's go into the 3 main areas of your health, those 3 sides of the health triangle, the 3 legs of the health stool, so you can kind of start to assess how you are doing with your overall health. The first side of the triangle or leg of the stool is your social health. Social health is the part of your health that deals with the way you react with people in your environment. So this is going to include public health, family relationships, and peer relationships. The second area of your overall health is your mental health. This deals with how you think, feel, and cope with daily life. And finally, there's your physical health. This is my personal favorite because I'm a personal trainer. It deals with your body's ability to function, so it's going to include topics such as nutrition, how you are fueling your body so it can function well, sleep, and exercise, making sure you're moving your body on a daily basis. So now that you know those 3 main components of your overall health, social health, mental health, and physical health, I want you to take a moment here to think about which one of those components is your current strong point and which one you might need to work on a little bit more. From here, I'm going to dive into physical health a little bit more because this show is going to focus on health and fitness, information, motivation, and inspiration. And so we'll actually really look at that component a lot more often than the others, even though the others are important. And I want to make sure that you realize that your physical fitness routine is not just one component. There's actually 3 main components that are important. What are those 3 main components of your physical fitness? They are your cardiovascular fitness, which relates to your heart's health. Your cardiovascular fitness is something that you work on anytime you get your heart pumping faster than it does when you're just sitting around. So if you're walking, that counts. And if you remember from my introductory episode, you want to make sure that you are getting a minimum of 150 minutes of movement a week. To make that easier to accomplish, you can break those 150 minutes down into smaller segments of as little as 10 to 15 minutes. So that is why, in case you missed it, I have this show as the Fit 15. I want to encourage you to get up and get moving for 15 minutes while you listen to the podcast show to help you start thinking about moving in 15-minute segments and really seeing the benefits of that for your overall health if you're able to get that 150 minutes in each week, but also for your general well-being and having you feel more focused and energized when you come back to your work after getting moving for these 15 minutes. Okay, so cardiovascular health, that is one aspect of your health, but not the only one. And we have that goal of 150 minutes a week. The second component of your physical fitness routine and part of your physical health is your strength training routine. Strength training is really important, something you should be doing 2 to 3 times a week and completing exercises that target all of your major muscle groups, not just your abs if you want to have flat abs. The reason why you want to target all major muscle groups is that if you have any goals, you are probably wanting to increase your overall metabolism, and that can only be done by using all your major muscle groups. And even if you have goals like trying to have one specific body part look better, like your abs, I'm using that example because a lot of people come to me with that goal, you still need to get your overall metabolism up and burn more calories at rest. And the only way you can really do that is by working your entire body versus just that one area that you're focusing on. As a personal trainer, I could talk about how to do a strength training routine all day, but the most important thing I want you to realize is that adding some resistance, working your muscles, is an important part of your overall health and fitness, and a commitment of 2 to 3 times a week where you are working your whole body during those sessions is going to help you to work on your overall strength so that you can improve that area of your overall fitness. The third component of your fitness routine is flexibility. We often think about flexibility as stretching and holding a stretch for a given amount of time, but that's not the only way to increase your flexibility. And actually, there is a way that you might not have heard of yet, but that I want you to consider. And before I get to that, this is the sound that you will hear every time I get to 7.5 minutes of an episode. I mentioned this in episode 000, the introductory episode of the show, but I wanted to remind you that again today. And the reason I play that sound is that I want to encourage you to get walking for 15 minutes during the episode. Not every single episode will be 15 minutes long, so I figured I'd have you maybe turn around when you got to that halfway point, and that's the sound I'm using to help you out. Okay, back to the third component of a solid fitness routine, flexibility. So I said that just holding a stretch is not the only type of flexibility, and we found that it might not be the best way to increase your flexibility, which is the form of fitness that works to help you increase your range of motion around your joints, and therefore is really important to help you prevent injuries and keep your ability to do daily activities as you get older. The form of flexibility I'd like you to look into is something called self-myofascial release. This might sound like a very fancy phrase. All it really means is that you are giving yourself a sports massage. So you're working on the fascia, the connective tissue in your body, to help break up knots and trigger points that could cause you to have an injury or pain in your muscles. And you are working that out by using usually a tool called a foam roller, which is a very inexpensive tool. And I'll talk about that more in the next episode, episode 2, where I'll tell you how to create a home gym for under $100. And I'll include the purchase of a foam roller in my recommendations. But you can also use a lot of other different tools. One that's super easy and inexpensive that you might even have around your house right now is a tennis ball. So you could look up online how to do self-myofascial release with a tennis ball, and you could get started with working on that aspect of your overall physical fitness as early as today. I talked about trying to have a goal of 150 minutes a week for your cardiovascular fitness. I talked about 2 to 3 days a week for a full body strength training routine. How often should you be doing your self-myofascial release and working on your flexibility? You can do that pretty much every day, and you definitely want to do it before and also after your workout. So that's something you can do every single day. And while it might not feel so great in the beginning, because remember, it's a self-sports massage, not a self-completed relaxing massage, you will start to find that it helps you feel a lot better after you try this technique and helps you move better and have better flexibility and range of motion, which is really important. So I've shared now the 3 components of a solid fitness routine: cardiovascular fitness, strength, and flexibility, and how often to incorporate those into your overall fitness routine. Before I conclude today's episode, I'd love to have you think about those 3 components, which one you are currently doing really well with and committed to, and which one you might need to work on, and kind of write that down, assess that for yourself. And if you have any questions on those, this is a great time for you to reach out for help and let me know topics you would like me to cover related to those areas of your health and fitness, so that you can get some support, get some added motivation and inspiration to include those in your routine. Well, this is going to conclude today's episode 1 of the Fit 15. It's a little under 15 minutes long, but that's okay, right? I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you learn more about your overall health, areas of your own strengths and weaknesses, and your physical fitness, areas of strength and weakness there, and that you learned that a solid fitness routine isn't just about walking or running. It also includes other components. And of course, remembering that all these areas of our physical fitness are important to our overall physical health, and that the 3 aspects of our overall health are really important. We can't just focus on our physical health and physical fitness to be healthy. We also need to work on our social health and mental health. The good news is that just as if one area of our overall health is suffering, if we work on one area of our overall health, we can improve the other areas. So that's one thing I really love about physical fitness. It makes it really easy to impact the other areas. By moving more, you're going to impact your overall mental health and help you deal with your daily life a lot better. There have actually been several studies that show that working out is as or even more effective than some antidepressants. Obviously, you want to talk with your doctor before you make any changes, but that's important to know. And because your physical health can improve your mental health, it can also help improve your social health, because it can improve your personal demeanor and how you therefore interact with other individuals, so it can improve your relationships. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Fit 15. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode number 2, where I'm going to share how to set up a home gym for under $100. In the meantime, I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, and awesome workouts.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.